here to the Weston Wayland match, Christmas Eve day. We are taping this for MassWrestling.com. This is a storied tradition here. You got Testa from Wayland, one of the better 103s in the state, against wrestler from Weston. I'm not too sure of. Score 0-0. I just fuck it then.
December 24th, 2005. This is the Wayland Weston tournament. Up first.
Christmas Eve match.
This is the Christmas Eve game match. Thank you, Jason. Apparently they're just starting at 103 this year. There was no coin flip, or if there was, it was a very coincidental coin flip. In any event, it looks like this match is pretty much in hand.
Yeah, 103. He's one of the better 103s in the state. This Weston 103 is obviously some sort of freshman. And you're getting nearly pinned in the first period.
Wow. What is that? What was that move called?
I don't know. It's called the quick and easy pin. First period pin by Matt Cassidy, 6-0 Wayland at the end of the
6-0 Wayland going into the second match, the 112,
which is going to feature John Kim versus I guess JT Choi of Weston, senior.
A very aggressive start to this match. Shot looked like at the right leg at first. He gets down. He's reaching back, which is never a great wrestling move, as taught by the great James Police.
Yeah, you reach back, you're automatically leaving yourself open for the half Nelson here. It looks like JT Toys is leading 2-0 here. He's working some bar arm combination. You know, just like the new North, new South match that we videotaped yesterday, this is a very heated rivalry. You know, two towns adjacent to each other that they're really on Christmas Eve day. You know, that there's a lot of hate flowing. A lot of alumni come back for this match, and last year Wayland was heavily favored, but like with New North, New South, Weston had the heart that day, and they came out with a victory, making sure essentially that Wayland wasn't going to win the DCL title early in the season.
Well, I know for about 30 years this was the most heated rivalry in the DCL. Is that still the case as far as just pure, like the number 1 versus number 2 team in the DCL?
You know what? The last 2 years, Lincoln Sudbury and Concord Carlisle last year won the DCL. It used to be a 2-team race. But now with youth programs in Concord and Lincoln Sudbury and whatnot, I'd almost say that Lincoln Sudbury's the number 2 team, and Wayland is by far the number 1 team this year. You know, the 130, Angel Lopez didn't return this year, and that hurts their chances at basically ending the year being ranked in the top 3. But you know what? They're still the best team in the DCL.
Wow.
And still a pretty damn good team. I'd say, with the JT Choi is one of Weston's better wrestlers. They definitely need a victory here,
The score is 2-0 in the first period, going into 13 seconds left in the match. It looks like Weston at this point has a pretty good control of the situation. Is that the ball and chain over there?
Yeah, no, he's trying to do the tilt at this point. It's not much that the Wayland guy can do.
This is the second period. It's still 2-0 Weston. Weston going for his second two takedown. He's got it. The score is now 4-0. Second period with 1:40 left on the clock. He's going for wrist control right now.
Yeah, Kim's a good wrestler. He got second in the Wayland tournament, but
what tournament is that?
This is the Wayland tournament that we covered.
Oh, right.
Last Saturday, he wrestled very fiercely, and it was a tough 112 bracket. But JT Toy, he was in a private school last year, didn't wrestle, but obviously whatever he was studying last year is paying dividends in the mat in the Christmas Eve day match.
Well, skill, heart, and talent sometimes come naturally more some people than others.
That's true, especially at the high school level of wrestling. Sometimes sheer determination and stick-to-itiveness will win a lot of matches. I've seen a lot of really good kids go down just because they thought they had the match in hand before they stepped on the mat. Hopefully it wasn't the case for Kim. We at MassWrestling.com, your source for amateur sports wrestling in New England, we don't choose favorites here. We're pretty unbiased. But I'll tell you what, Wayland is a very well-coached, humble team. And we're not rooting for them. We would not be disappointed if they came out today with a victory.
Jason, I know you went to the Wayland tournament. Do you think it's difficult for wrestlers to wrestle in the Wayland tournament, seeing as though the season is so young?
It is tough, but you know what? The only way you get ready for the Lowell tournament and the postseason tournament is by doing a lot of early, tough matches. So it's tough, but you do it. Wrestling. What about wrestling isn't tough? If you don't like tough sports, you play basketball.
The water breaks.
Yeah, there are no water breaks in wrestling. I wrestled for Newton South. And
they were at Newton North.
What did he say?
They were at Newton North.
Yeah.
They let the wrestlers bring water balls into the practice at Newton North.
Right.
Third period, still 4-0 Weston. Minute 50 left on the clock. Looks like Weston's trying to go for a pinning combination right here. Looks like a backwards half Nelson.
It is definitely a backwards half Nelson here. I'm not sure what he's not obviously. He's trying to get the 2 points reversal there.
Well done by Weston. So the score becomes
6-0.
6-0.
6-0 JD Toy over Kim.
And with a minute 30 left on the clock, it looks like Weston's got this match pretty much in hand. But you never know about the third period. That's the funny thing about it. Fatigue.
It's conditioning really what makes a third period wrestler. Whoever's willing to do those last sprints and whatever you're doing, seal walks during practice, it pays dividends in the third period.
Look at this. Right now he's got the ball and chain. He's going for the tilt right now. It looks like the movie's been favoring heavily in the match so far.
Yeah, he has been favoring it. And if you got a bread and butter move, you got to stick with it. He's obviously. Kim has not been able to maintain too much hand control on the bottom, and he's, from that's really inhibiting his ability to escape.
Absolutely. And the Weston has just dominated this match so far entirely.
Pretty much. They don't give riding points in high school wrestling, but JT Toy would have a lot of them at this point. He's been on top most of the match, and Kim just really has just been, trying not to get pinned. And if you're a wrestler to lose, that's the number one guaranteed way that you will lose.
Well, at this point, I think he's struggling to even create a base for himself in order to try to at least get up.
He is, but unless you've got, Ivan Drago on you, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to base up and get an escape,
Well, besides fatigue, there's no good excuse, is what you probably mean to say.
Yeah, some people say that excuses are for the weak. Who said that? Who made that quote?
That was the 2001 Newton North captain, Moose. The match is over. The score, 6-0. Weston win.
The score is now 6-3. Wayland. Match between Weston and Wayland. Travis Anza versus Max Mitnick. Travis has improved much this summer and comes in as the favorite. Max Mitnick did have Travis's number whenever they did meet last year. I think winning both matches in a DCL tournament in the dual meet. These guys don't like each other. They are heated rivals.
Well, I was just about to say, it's funny you mentioned that these guys both look very intense coming onto the mat.
Well, you know what? When you face somebody a number of times, you got to know that person well. And sometimes the more you know, the less that you really like the guy,
Kind of like a girlfriend, huh?
Kind of like... At that point, I'd assume you'd get rid of the girlfriend. But yes, pretty much, Except I'm pretty sure these guys aren't exchanging much on Valentine's or Christmas Day.
It's the day before Christmas today. It's a Christmas Eve Weston Wayland match on 12/24/05. This is MassWrestling.com. Amir, Moghadam, and Jason Ganz calling this match. It looks like Wayland is in control at this point. The score is 2-0. Minute 9 seconds left in the first period. Weston gets is that a reversal or is that out of bounds?
They must have given him 2 points for the reversal there. So it's 2-2 here.
2-2, minute with 55 seconds left in the clock, the first period. They go out of bounds again. They go back to the middle of the mat. Wayland's got the bottom position. Weston's got top. Wow, this isn't going to be pretty. There we go. Face into the mat. They're struggling for wrist control right now. How important is wrist control, Jason?
Oh, it's very important. You know, when you're top and bottom, no matter what, you have to get your hands free. You know, you will not escape if the guy still has a tight waist around you.
You try to build up a base with just your knees. You're going flat back in your face. They go out of bounds again. They got to go back to the middle of the mat. I believe Wayland is still on the bottom.
Yeah, it's still 2-2.
2-2 with 30 seconds left in the match. 30 seconds left in the first period. I apologize.
Wayland is still up 6-3 in this overall meet here. Travis Anja continually slamming Mick down. I mean, that's what you try to do to wear down your opponent. You know, you assume that even the pristine high school athlete can only take so much physical abuse.
Wayland gets close to getting out. They wind up out of bounds. 10 seconds left in the first period. The score is
Travis
2 up.
Physically dominating Minnick, basically pile driving me into the ground repeatedly. But you know what? Wrestling, it may look like a violent sport, but it has far less injuries than football. I mean, the mat is like 3 inches of nice padding. This sport, if you want to make sure that your son grows up tough and is a leader in his community or whatever profession, get rid of those basketball sneakers, and let him go on the wrestling mat.
Score is 2-2 all. Second period, minute 55 left in the clock. This is the 119 Weston Wayland match on the last day before Christmas in 2005. It looks like
2 points.
wow. Now just look at the way he works in the legs. That's the spot of a great wrestler.
That's true. Leg wrestling. The match usually is a young wrestling going on here for at least 200 years. It's only 20 years that we caught up. Well, anyways, we get my historical perspective. Max Minton looks like the reversal.
The Wayland kid is the Wayland 119 is one head lift away from getting his pin.
They stopped the match due to an illegal headlock here. Now what's the score, man?
The score is 5-all with a minute 13 left in the period. In the second period, that is.
Weston and Wayland, they face each other for the Thanksgiving match. They often face each other for who's going to win the DCL title in wrestling. Like I said, you face somebody in no time in championship scenarios. It's almost like the Patriots Colts, and the Wayland would be the Patriots and Weston the Colts.
Great competition in January. This great rivalry. And it looks like Wayland's got a pretty good control on the match at this point after the near pin earlier this period. The score is 7-5 in the second period with the 50 seconds left on the clock. Wayland's on top. Looks like they've got a good control. They're struggling for wrist control. Now, I don't even know what they're doing right now. This looks like either way. They're struggling to stay in bounds at this point.
Weston tried some pinning combination there. He was way too high, though, and nearly pinned himself. It's kind of like any pinning combination you do is kind of like a double-edged sword. If you run it wrong, you're going to be reversed and pinned yourself.
Absolutely.
But Minnick is riding tough here. He's establishing the tempo of the match here. Oh, but it's dangerous. Like I said, with every pinning combination, you put yourself at risk. Travis Anja reverses. For 2 points, it's now a 7-all.
And this just goes to show weight distribution, how important weight distribution is in wrestling. In regards to knowing where you are and knowing how to weight distribute just the right way to roll yourself over to get advantage, just like the Weston 119 just did. The match is 7-all, third period. The Wayland is up right now in the team score, 5-3. This is the Weston Wayland meet.
3 or 5-3?
It says 5-3 on the board, although they could have made a mistake.
I was pretty sure that Mike tested 103 won my pinfall, but maybe it was 10.
Yeah, I think you're right. But in any event, the Wayland 119 just let go the Weston 119, and so right now,
I think he's just more confident of his ability to do so. He knew he wasn't going to score any points, by turning Anza. But if Anza gets a takedown here, he can essentially ride him out. He's that good on top.
struggling right now, not just for the takedown, but for a pinning combo as well. And I personally don't believe in letting the wrestler go. I feel as though wrestling should be getting the guy to the back, just like the Weston kid is trying to do right now. Great match. You just got the takedown. Right now the score is 10-7, which doesn't really make any sense because the Weston kid just got the takedown. Nevertheless,
No, it's 10-7 Travis Sands at this point. He got the 2-point takedown and he's up by 3.
okay, Weston up by 3 with 50 seconds left on the clock. Wayland's going to need an escape and a takedown in order to get his advantage back in his match. You see how he's reaching back now. There's a cardinal mistake, which many know how to.
Reaching back is a whole mistake, and it looks like Max Mitnick may almost get pinned because of it. But there are actually a few wrestling moves where reaching back at the opportune time is your only salvation. But at this point, it's hurt Max Mitnick. He's getting back. It looks like, I don't know if they started awarding back points yet, but he's certainly not going to escape.
I think he definitely got the back points. He got the 3 back points. He's up by 6 right now with 13 seconds left on the clock. It would take a small miracle at this point to win it. 8 seconds.
Would you say a Christmas Eve miracle?
Santa Claus himself would have to come and save him at this point. And 1 second left. This match is over. Weston wins. A great match, 13-7. But don't let the score fool you. It was a very close match.
And Weston is up 6-5 at this point.
Look at that. Look at the way he was kind of traveling on one leg and one knee. That's real. I've never seen. Animals would. Maybe he's not human.
Perhaps, where the way that he moves around. He gets taken down first. This is, he's had, like I said, a slow start to his season, a slow start to this match. I mean, everybody would have predicted that the sophomore Tyler Long was just going to come in here and open a few cans of whoop ass. But
honestly, I think facial expression is so much to do. It shows like intensity, and I just don't see it in the Weston kid right now. Maybe he's one of those Icemen, just no expression on his face whatsoever. Nevertheless, looks like they're in some kind of ugly pretzel. Like, looks like Weston's about to get the takedown. He's got the takedown. It's two all going into minute 13 left in the first period.
Sam Dunn, both of these guys, I think are in their second year on varsity, but Tyler Long really, he beat a lot of solid kids last year at 103. Definitely, he was coming into the season a favorite to repeat as state champion, but
he was state champion.
He was a state champion last year, beating Sean Roll of Foxborough at 103 last year in the state championships. But he struggled a little bit early on. You see, Weston in general, they've been decimated by injuries. This year they came in, they thought it was going to be a strong year, but Dan Patterson transferred to Loomis Chaff, and then they've had a few injuries, but. Like I said, it makes very little difference going into the Weston Wayland match because anybody that Coach Baldon's of Weston coaches is going to be wrestling like it's their last match against Wayland. I mean, they take this very seriously.
Let me just say that the Weston kid has surprised me in his intensity today. I didn't see it in his face, but he's been throwing cross faces like.
Did you think that Weston wouldn't be as motivated because they have not as tough as a life as the mean streets of Wayland?
No, definitely not.
So with correction here, it's actually 6-all in terms of the team scores here going into the 125 match. Sam Donald starting on top.
Which is the only place he can really start at this point. He's kind of like, he's losing in regards to points, so he's probably trying to get some of those points back.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to get some tilt or who knows, the cradle.
Oh, look at that, the power half on the wrong side, nevertheless. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got Donald stretched out here.
This is why I'm glad I don't wrestle anymore.
He's getting him in the guillotine. It is the guillotine. Actually, that's not quite the guillotine, but it's a nasty leg move.
I don't know what that is. All I know is it looks painful, and I wouldn't want to be in it. Nevertheless...
That's the grapevine. That's definitely the grapevine here.
Nevertheless, it's 10-2 in the second period with a minute 12. Wayland struggling to keep off his back. Weston just being brutal and intense in this match. Let me tell you, I weigh about 50 pounds more than this kid, and I wouldn't want to wrestle him.
Yeah, Tyler Long repeatedly running the half, has the boots.
Oh, man, dude.
I mean, I think Donald's is basically pinned at this point. I think he'd probably rather have the match be over and start his Christmas dinner because you don't want to be in the grapevine underneath Tai Wong.
Oh, dude. What's I don't even know what the Wayland kid's doing right now. I don't think he's really doing anything. I mean,
he's just trying not to get pinned.
There you
go. He escapes.
Wow. 30 seconds left on the clock. It is 16-3 Weston.
And this goes to a tech fall here.
What's the Weston kid's name again?
Tyler Wong.
This Tyler kid has just been nothing but brutal and intense this whole match. I've never seen him wrestle before, but I am very impressed.
Oh, he's been wrestling from a young age. His father's one of the coaches of the Natick Youth Wrestling team, so I think ever since he could walk, he's pretty much been wrestling. He's a tough kid, he's a nice kid. And at the end of the first period, what's the score, Amir?
The score is now 18-3, which couldn't be right because that would be a tech, wouldn't it?
18-3, yeah, it would be a tech. This is the 130 match. Jared Doyen here, 6th place last year at 112 in the D3 states. Once again, I'm not as well versed on the Weston, one of the Weston wrestlers, but I'm sure it'll be a close match. Jared did not place at the Wayland tournament. He actually, check this out, he's had shingles. Shingles, I tell you.
What is shingles?
Shingles is the second coming of chickenpox. It essentially comes up your nerves, and it's a very painful illness. Your immune system eventually fights it off, but it is painful. And he gets the 2 points. He seems like he's got his legs back under him because he was winded for most of the tournament. But heck, you're not going to sit out in an important match like this.
Well, you survive something that painful, it's got to make you tougher.
Yes, some people say what doesn't kill you does make you stronger. I don't know.
It hurts you like hell.
Oh, it hurts you like hell. I'm not sure if polio makes you stronger, but...
Again, this is the Weston Wayland Christmas Eve match. The score is 11 Weston, 5 Wayland.
Are you sure it's not 11-6? Because Testa did get that fall then.
11-6. The people have not updated the board yet, but what do you expect the freshmen? Nevertheless, this is the 130
match, yeah. Jared Doyen of Wayland basically placed 6th in the state at 112. The year before that, he placed 5th at 103.
So he's had a stellar wrestling.
He's had a pretty solid career, And Amir, you won't guess who he lost to last year in the 5-6 match of the D3.
Abe?
No, didn't lose to Abe. He lost to Nikki Darrow, the girl wrestler from Mount Greyhawk. Who's now wrestling in training for the Olympics in northern Michigan now.
So she's gonna have to wrestle those Russians who train in Siberia.
Well, I know Ivan Drago trained there, but I'm not sure about female wrestlers. I think you're not going to wrestle too well if you lose 4 or 5 of your fingers due to frostbite. It's pretty tough to get hand control if you don't got much of a hand left.
Those Russians don't play. They kill each other if they lose to women. Man, she better be ready to fight for her life. Nevertheless, this is the 130 match. It's 2-0. Wayland.
2-0 Jared Doyen here near the end of the first period. 30 seconds left.
27 seconds left. Still 2-0. Wayland in control, but I don't know what's going to happen here. It looks like he's got wrist control, and they're both standing up.
He's trying to bring him down to the mat, but you got to be careful that because the moment you bring the guy down to the mat, it leaves the opportunity for a quick switch and reversal. So you got to make sure you're putting yourself in the right position here.
And it just breaks your heart as a wrestler. Anytime a wrestler stands up but is counted out of bounds like that, because it just takes so much out of you if it happens over and over again. But there you go. Weston is working on hard on the reversal. 2 seconds left on the clock, unfortunately. Doesn't look like he's going to get it.
So the score is 2-0 Jared Doyen at the end of the first period. All right, 2-0 here Jared Doyen in the start of the second period. Jared starting on the bottom.
Wayland was working on the switch, but apparently that didn't work, so he worked on the stand-up. That didn't work either. Struggling for wrist control at this point. It's pretty hard to build a base without your hands.
I concur. I definitely concur. You know what? Ooh, the Western wrestler throwing in the boots here. Trying something funky on Jared Doyen. He's superior in neutral. on top, but well, it looks like he may escape here. If he gets his head out, he'll have the 1-point escape, 2-point reversal.
Oh wow, these two guys are fighting. Wow. See, the out of bounds is just a morale killer as well as your stick.
Yeah, when you're struggling, you know what? They sometimes they really do have to call it tight out of bounds, because the last thing you want is to get slammed on on concrete or hard wood. You know, the wrestling is all about preserving the safety of the wrestlers. You know.
Do you think the top wrestler would ever try, like, if you knew the guy was about to get out, try to push the guy out of bounds, kind of just...
That happens, you know what?
It would be
it's stalling. It's stalling. And essentially, you can get called for a point if you're just pushing the guy out of bounds in order to stop it, you know?
Once again, it's only stalling if you get caught.
That's true, you know? The late Eddie Guerrero, what did he say? He'd cheat, win, or what?
Oh, man.
What did Eddie Guerrero used to say, Amir?
You would say he'd lie, cheat, and steal, Jason.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes you got to do whatever it takes to win.
Jesse Ventura used to say, it's only cheating if you get caught. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat and never get caught.
You got to find what advantage. You're not going to cheat in a wrestling match. You know, if you do, that's going to be a very easy. Well, cheating in terms of stalling, I think everybody does. You kind of like have to do it in a very smart.
Right,
you know,
he feels it's stalling. He can call stalling.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen matches that have been they've ended in a DQ because one wrestler's been stalling for too much. You know, refs want to make sure these guys are getting the maximum competition experience. You know, if one guy's dogging it the entire time or has the victory and he's just trying to hold on, the ref will DQ him. You know, as disappointing as that is, but the only way to prevent that is to stay in good condition and wrestle 110%. You know, even until you hear that buzzer go off.
Absolutely. 10 seconds left in the clock. The score is 6-0 Wayland right now. Weston struggling to mount a comeback. It's probably not going to happen this period with 1 second left in the clock. But no, I was right.
The start of the third period here. Jared Dorian up 6-0 in the 130-pound match. Jared attempting to stand up here, brought back down forcefully to the mat by the Weston 130-pounder. Jared trying to run the half there. We got the reversal actually.
Wow.
It's now 8-0 Jared Dorian, and nearing still at the beginning of the third period.
We're at the 130 mark at this point in the third period. The score is 8-0 Weston. And Wayland's at this point losing by 8 points. Wayland's going to have to really... Weston, rather, I'm sorry. Will have to really pull something out of his back pocket in order to win this match. And I just don't see what that could be.
I don't see it either. I think it's kind of like the tempo was set early on in this match. And psychologically, the Weston guy's intimidated. You know, he knows... He's basically at this point trying not to get pinned, you know. In the great wrestler... The one who is going to be champion doesn't get down on himself in the third period if he's losing. You know, he finds a way to just use whatever reserves he has to pull off something, whether it's a headlock or chin whip or head chauncey to even the score.
Right here, I'd love to see a crossface because I think that would definitely weaken his grip on his legs.
It certainly would make it more of an entertaining match for us, the fans. So the score is now 8-0, Jared Dorian, 130 pounds.
Weston struggling to get that point so he doesn't lose by a major at this point. And he's come so close so many times. The bounds of the mat has not been his friend today. 27 seconds left on the clock.
Well, part of wrestling is mat awareness, you know. It's like you can't get back points if your opponent's shoulder's out of bounds. It's kind of, you really do have to have good vision, you know.
But it must still be heartbreaking.
It's definitely heartbreaking. You're right, to have points taken away just because it happens on the edge of the mat is definitely a momentum thing.
This is the Weston Wayland Christmas Eve match on December 24th, 2005. This is the 135 weight class. 45 seconds left on the clock. Wayland is up 2-0. This is Amir, Moghadam, Jason Ganz calling the match for MassWrestling.com. Your source for
amateur wrestling in New England. Max Lewin with a quick takedown here. You know, this match. You know, at this point now, what is the score of the thing? It's 2-0. No, overall.
It's 11 all actually. The scores continues to be messed up.
Okay, it's 11 all. Tied up going to the 135-pound match. Max Lewin wrestled really tough in the Wayland tournament. You know, it looks got the first. You know, 90% of the time the wrestler gets the first takedown win. So we'll see if that trend continues here.
Is that an actual statistic, Jason, and just pull that out of your head?
You know, there's Mark Twain once said, "There's lies, damn lies, and statistics." But I did hear that somewhere along the line. I believe it was the fabled coach Jim Police who told me that before.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the most storied coaches ever. Not all good stories, but definitely one of the most storied coaches ever.
Well, Jason Ganz, of course, trained by Jay Robinson himself in Minnesota, among other people. So Jason knowing what he's talking about. It is second period right now. The score is still 4-0 Wayland. And you know, both these guys came out with such intensity, but it looks as though Wayland really stepped up. Reversal by Wayland. He gets his 2 points, and now it is 6-0. With a minute 40 left in the second period, Wayland up. Wow. Wayland going for the pin combination.
Max Lewin here, trying to bring back the Weston 130. He's pulling the arm back, trying to drag him back by sheer force. You know, at this point, I would say an arm bar probably would be the best thing just because he already has the chicken wing in place. But you know what? It's tough. I mean, the Weston kids aren't given any moves. You know, even when the Wayland guy's heavily favored, like Max Lewin, he's having to fight for every single point he gets here.
Wayland just working on the wrist control right now, working on trying to get him on his back, working on pinning combinations. Now he's going for the power half. And you know, facial expressions could tell stories. The story right now would be just pain on the part of Weston.
Yeah, he has his forearm real hard, real deep on the Weston 130. You know, that'll definitely make you see stars. But you know what? If it doesn't work, it sets you up to try it again because the Weston kid, he's either going to get out fast or maybe he'll just he'll roll over real quick. You don't want to be.
Look at that. He got the
half Nelson here, yeah.
Half and rolled him out.
Well, he has the reverse half in now. He's on his back. Max Lewin has the 135-pound Weston guy on his back. Match over. Max Lewin winning by fall, and the first period, 21 seconds left. And that brings the score to second period.
21 seconds left. That brings the score
to 17-11.
16-11.
Well, 17-11. They messed up the score here.
Yeah, 17-11, yeah.
Weston at Wayland at this point, going into the 140-pound match. Yep, the 140-pound match. Weston versus Wayland. Wayland up 17-11 at this point. These guys both look very aggressive and usual, charging at each other repeatedly.
These two teams are just so well trained by their respected coaches. It's just great to watch these teams wrestle each other.
The Wayland 140 gets the first takedown here, 2-0, and drives the Weston Wrestler 140 out of bounds.
Looks like someone with a fire under Wayland's ass right now. They're really looking intense in this match.
They are. You know what? It's kind of like we were talking about this in mass wrestling, ways of intimidating your competition. If you come out there with high energy and whatnot, sometimes it'll have your opponent backpedaling and really, you know, in the defensive mode, you know.
Grabbing those legs is going out of bounds anyway. The score continues to be 2-0 with a minute 17 left in the first period. Minute 12 left in the first period. The score is 2-1. Wayland team leading Weston 17-11. This isn't necessarily a must win, but to keep momentum even, I would suspect that Weston would really want.
Well, you know, Wayland has some studs coming up. Russell Lyons at 145, Ogletree, their captain, 52. Greg Bergman, well, the Birdman, also known as Greg Bergman, wrestling 160, and Manley at 71. Weston needs to steal one of these matches before it gets into Wayland's strengths, you know. All right, beginning of the second period. Score, Amir?
It's actually the first period, and the score is 4-1 with 33 seconds left.
In favor of the Wayland 140.
It's just been all the Wayland 140 so far in this match.
Yeah, he got the takedown, and he's been riding tough for the whole of the first period here, trying to bring.
Wow.
And the Weston kid starts to switch, but creates space and gets the 1 point escape.
That's his 1 point. If I were him, he should probably be looking to get a takedown in the next 10 seconds in order to tie it up, but it doesn't really look like that's going to happen.
You know, with a few seconds left, a lot of wrestlers are content to let it go into the next period. And that's often the opportune time to take a shot. You know, the guy has his guard down, you know. If you're not wrestling forward, you're wrestling backwards, and that's when you're going to get taken down.
It is the second period. Wayland's up 4-2 in this one takedown match. This team score is Wayland 17, Weston 11. Weston chose the top position, probably looking for...
He's looking for a fall. I mean, he was rooting out the whole of the first period here. I mean, and he didn't look too impressive in neutral. He's obviously confident in his ability to score points. Trying to get the half Nelson here desperately.
He needs to get the power half in because the regular half just isn't going to cut it.
The regular half doesn't pin too many experienced wrestlers, unless you're talking about Beaver Country Day.
Oh, I just love the crossface, man. This is why I watch wrestling. And Wayland actually has their mask over their face right now, which must make it difficult to breathe and to see. Oh, man.
Weston wrestler 140 slamming Wayland 140 very hard for the mat. You could hear the audio, the booming.
That's the second crossface so far. Weston has just stepped it up in the last minute in this past minute of the second period. Right now it is 56 seconds left in the second period, and the intensity has yet to score him many points.
Locking hands though called on the Weston 140. All right.
There's 50 seconds left in the second period of this match. Wayland actually scores a point based on locking hands. And at this point, this entire period is just been Weston being extremely aggressive, but unable to score any points. 30 seconds left on the clock. It looks like Wayland is struggling to escape.
What's the score of the match now, Amir?
The score of the match is 5-2 Wayland.
Donald.
I want to know if you were watching this match, though.
Yes, you know what? The Weston, he's been having a lot of action, repeatedly slamming down the Wayland 140 Donaldson. But you know what? He's not scoring a lot of points now, and he's going to need he's going to need back points being down by 3 points. Some sort of tail. He's trying to cradle now. If he gets his weight back, he'll get it. He gets it.
Really? Just slipped right out of it. And struggling to try to get some back points. With 10 seconds left on the clock, he gets his 3 points. It is now 7-2 with 7 seconds left in the second period.
7-2. The Wayland 140 is up in the beginning of the third period.
On the clock in the second period.
Should be the beginning of the third period. Beginning of the third period here. Wayland up 7-2 in this 140-pound match.
Weston just dominated the second period. Unfortunately, he didn't get to score any points because he started the match on top and ended it on top, except for the last 5 seconds.
He tried that cradle, but you know he didn't have the right grip, and the Wayland wrestler was able to reverse it for 2 points.
Unfortunately, the cradle only works if you know how to use it. In any event, it is 1:27 left in the third period. Wayland continues to dominate 7-2. And Weston is really going to have to rise above the competition, essentially, in order to score and win this match in the next minute, 13 seconds.
Yeah, you know what? It's at these points of adversity that the true champion arises. I think I read that in the back of some wrestling shirt. And Weston gets the reversal of 2 points, scores 7-4 with a minute left. He's going to need back points.
He's going for the back points. Even the 3 back points are tired up right now.
He's trying for the crossface cradle, and he has been successful at crossfacing the Wayland kid, but the one cradle that he had, he ended up getting reversed on.
1 minute, 34 seconds left on the clock. Wayland struggling to fill the base. Weston struggling to get some points before this match is over. Maybe get it into overtime, maybe even win it. Minute 23 left on the clock. Weston struggling to get that cradle in. The cradle not working for him well last time.
You know, I think the ref right now, if you see him, is looking to see if Wayland's trying to advance, and you know what? He's not. He's got a warning for stalling there, and if he's going to get bumped for a point, you know. But at this point, he's up by 3.
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter. Attempting to stand up, just really trying not to get pinned. And the Wayland 140 wins 7-4.
Wayland rode that last minute of stalling and just like struggling to stay alive at that point.
And the score now, Amir, what's the score?
The score right now is 20-11.
20-11 here, Wayland up, going into the 145-pound match. Russell Lyons here, the 145 from Wayland. Heavy favorite going into this match. His brother, Chris Lyons, a very dominant wrestler for Wayland last year, 189 pounds. I don't think he's at Stonehill College. I don't think they have a wrestling team, but he's left some big shoes for his little brother Russell to fill. And you know something, Amir, about leaving big shoes for your brother to fill, don't you?
Well, you know, in my case, it was very big shoes. Nevertheless, it looks as if Wayland has a size advantage over Weston in this match as well. How do you think that comes into play?
I think it comes into play, especially size matters the most on top here. And Russell Lyons is a top wrestler here. You know, look for him to work a bunch of tilts, power half. I mean, I don't see the Weston 145 escaping at this point.
This has been all Wayland going into the first.
Wayland's pretty good. You see here that he's constantly applying pressure here, driving, not giving the Weston wrestler any space.
Oh, well, just look at that arm. Oh God, that's not going to be pleasant.
I guess it was potentially dangerous on the Wayland wrestlers, Russell Lyons, so they stopped. It's still 2-0 here.
It looked more than potentially watching it from here, but nevertheless, 47 seconds left in the first period. The score is 2-0 Wayland. It's been all Wayland so far.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a very experienced Weston wrestler here. I predict a very quick fall here. He's getting himself into some precarious position here. Russell Lyons tried to get a half, I didn't get any back points, but very close to having a fall versus the Weston 145.
Weston just being very squirrely at this point is the only thing preventing him from being pinned at 27.
Hold on a second. What the heck does squirrel even mean?
It means that he's able to squiggle his way out of getting pinned. That's what it means, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
It means when all else fails, you just throw your body weight around and hope for the best.
Because we at Mass Wrestling only use official Merriam-Webster words. We don't make up words at MassWrestling.com. Anyways, back to the match. What's the score now?
I told you to look it up in the dictionary. I'm sure it's there. Would that be a verb?
Is squirrely next to chipmonkey is the question.
Well, not in the dictionary because most of them are alphabetical, Jason.
You're right. I've noticed that about the dictionary for some reason.
Don't speak down to me, Jason. I am the director of sports psychology for MassWrestling.com.
That's true. And you know what? Amir Moghadam provides free sports psychology advice to anybody that emails him. It's strictly confidential. Advice that you'd have to pay hundreds of dollars for. That just shows Amir's dedication to the Mass Wrestling community. Back to the match here. What's the score of the match, Amir?
The score of the match is, in fact, 2-0 Wayland. It continues. The score has been the same for the past minute and a half at this point, going to minute 35 in the second period.
Locking hands, 1 point. 1 point for Russell Lyons. Now 3-0 going to the second period.
Weston choosing top position right now, which in my opinion, the way the match has been going, is kind of like spitting in the wind. It's not going to do much good for Weston.
And then Russell Lyons hits the switch, reversal here, basically pinning at this point the Weston 145.
Let me say again, spitting in the wind.
What happens when one spits in the wind?
On our way home, we can spit outside and find out, Jason. Nevertheless, it is minute 11 left. Weston with the reversal and the near pin.
Let's just say, Amir, it's going to be the longest walk home you've ever had. Just kidding, Amir. You're driving shotgun.
Ooh, yeah. In any event, it is 56 seconds left in the second period. Wayland is up 8-0. It's all dominated Wayland match. Weston struggling to keep his face off the mat at this point.
Yeah, as soft as the mat is, getting your face slammed repeatedly into the mat doesn't leave the most fun sensation.
Not to mention it's not very hygienic.
Yes,
other wrestlers have been walking around with their wrestling shoes on.
Oh, Russell Lyons with a half Nelson here. Ball and chain half Nelson.
He's a head lift away from winning this match at this point. With 25 seconds left in the second period. Struggling to get up. If he's able to get up, the score will be 11-0. If he isn't, well, either the period will be over or he'll have his pick.
Alliance wins by fall here. What's the score of the meet now, Amir?
26 to 11. Wayland.
They're slowly running away with this meet here. Come in the heavy favorite, and they've wrestled like the heavy favorite in that 145-pound match. 152-pound match here. Andrew Ogletree against the unnamed 152-pound wrestler from Weston.
Well, just for the record, I'm sure he has a name. We just don't know it here.
Yeah, he probably does have a name. Very few people have actually gone throughout their entire life without a name. But not a name in terms of the master wrestling community. We don't know who he is. Ogletree, an experienced captain,
let me just say, for future references to other schools and meets we'll be going to, if you see us here, please provide us with a list of names.
And refreshments. And padded seats, because let me tell you, this is a great wrestling venue here, but if you're sitting here long enough, you're going to end up with splinters in your arse.
And on behalf of MassWrestling.com, I, Amir Moghadam, would like to say we are partial to bagels. Nevertheless, it is 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the first period. Wayland up 2-1.
Andrew Ogletree up 2-1 near 1 minute mark in this period.
Should have said cream cheese.
Cream cheese and bagels. That is what you should provide us if you see us at your wrestling event. Now it is.
We're also partial to coffee, based juice. In any event, it is the 54 seconds left in the first period. Wayland up 4-1. Wayland releasing Weston.
Andrew Ogletree up 4-2 at this point.
Obviously, some kind of mind strategy going on, which I'm not quite aware of. In any event, 4-2 into going 40 seconds left in the first period. Score is 26. The team score is 26-11. Wayland. Today is Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2005. This is being brought to you by MassWrestling.com.
Your source for amateur wrestling, high school, college, youth wrestling in New England.
We're done with plugs. What's the weight classes? 145?
152. Andrew Ogletree, the captain of Wayland, heavily favored, but you know what? Weston's kept it close in all the matches that Wayland has been heavily favored. Ogletree on his back for a quick second there, but it's still neutral here. And the score going into the second period is
4-2 Wayland.
4-2 Andrew Ogletree. All right, Wayland and Andrew Ogletree starting on top. Looks like that he's gonna Weston 1-2 is gonna get his reversal here. 2 points. It's 4 all.
145 left in the second period.
But now Ogletree escapes. It is now 5-4 up. Andrew Ogletree up in the second period.
I didn't give the Weston enough credit to tell you the truth. I didn't think this match would be as close as.
You know what? You can't always judge somebody by their physique. I mean, why you might not always judge me as the most ferocious, tenacious wrestler that I am. If you saw me on the mean streets of Newton, don't let appearances fool you.
This is why wrestling, a lot of wrestling, is just hard. You can't judge hard by a man's size or stature,
or race or creed,
or nationality, or whether they're from the planet Earth. Nevertheless, the score continues to be scored actually 7-4 in favor of Wayland, who has a cradle on right now. 55 seconds left in the second period.
I'd say the Western wrestler's done at this point. Get out your fork, Amir. It's time to stick it in him.
It doesn't look like Weston is really struggling at this point to try to cringe out.
He's struggling at this point to become one with the wrestling mat, you know.
There he goes.
He gets out of that pinning combination here, but only by the grace of the ref. Only by the good grace of the ref there.
He just got his Christmas pin.
Hey, welcome to the Christmas Eve day present. You know, that's what he
he's got the
locks up the cradle again. You know what though? Sometimes it's tough to pin with the cradle though. You know, once again,
you can't get both shoulders flushed against the back. Absolutely.
But he gets the fall. Andrew Ogletree wins by fall in the second period.
32-11 Wayland. After this 152 match pinfall victory for Wayland.
Andrew Ogletree, captain, wins by fall. 152-pound class. You're watching here now Greg Bergman, also known as the Birdman on MassWrestling.com. High expectations, had a tough Wayland tournament. You know what, he's been finding his proper weight. He's going to stick with 160 for the rest of the season. You know, he talks himself up a lot, you know, doing the bird call whenever he's leading and stuff.
Bird call. Does he really do a bird call?
He has done the bird call just to let the other wrestler know who's the dominant wrestler.
What is the bird call?
I don't know. It sounds something in between a woodpecker and a dodo bird sound. But it's fierce, you know. It's kind of like the battle call of like the running aura guy, you know.
Running aura guy, which is made famous by Lord of the Rings.
I was talking about Lord of the Rings, the book, though, you know.
Yeah, like you ever read that?
I can read. I have read on occasion.
Dude, we're not talking about like internet stuff. We're talking about posting on Masters.com. In any event, it's still 0-0 going to 119 in the first period. The Birdman struggling for a takedown at this point.
Yeah.
It's still 0-0, 113 left in the first period. 160. Birdman going for a little ankle pick. He gets it. He gets his 2 points. You're all anxiously expecting the bird call at any moment.
And he did it! He did it! That was the bird call. Might say that the Birdman is coasting through the first period here, flying on the cold, wintry winds of a Christmas Eve day match here, and it's been very cold and unwelcoming for the Weston wrestlers here, as Weston is down. What's the score? 32-11 here. That's not where you want to be.
50 seconds left in the first period. Birdman is in control, and I don't know exactly. He's going for. I don't know what that is. What is that, Jason?
That is some move where Birdman pushed the wrestler's head down with the 160 Weston's gate. Obviously a risky pinning combination here. He didn't get any points, back points or anything, but Birdman is he's crafty lyrically, and he's crafty on the mat as well.
Birdman dominating this first period. 31 seconds left. 5-0 Birdman. Wayland. Scooby-Doo! Jason, was that the bird call?
That was not, but you know, we are big fans of the Scooby-Doo TV show.
Froggy?
That got us through those was it the early 90s?
Birdman riding high with wrist control right now. Score 5-0, 10 seconds left.
Throwing in the boots, they stop it from being potentially dangerous here.
10 seconds left in the match. Wayland up 5-0. Birdman basically coasting, honestly.
5-0 here. Greg Bergman is up in the end of the first period. Greg Bergman, also known as the Birdman, up in the beginning of the first period here. Chooses bottom position.
First period. Wayland up 5-0. Minute 50 left in the second period. Wayland team up 32-11. Birdman struggles to build a base and get up.
He's running the half here. He's got his head and he might be trying to bar him here. Well, he gets the reversal.
He should have gone for the half though. I mean, he was in perfect position for it. Nevertheless, it's very easy for me to sit down here after my Dunkin' Donuts breakfast and call that. In any event, going for the how is it? I can only imagine that he's going.
Well, he's sinking the legs here. He's trying the power half here, trying to extend the body of the 160-pound wrestler from Wayland. Expose the shoulder there. It's tough to pin, but he wants the back points here, and he may get it. He's scooping up the head, trying to get some sort of 45-degree angle on the Western wrestler to get the points.
Just dominating 7-0. The back points right now would pretty much put him in a good place to get a major worst case scenario, which would definitely help his team out, which has already been dominating.
Look what he's doing! The cocky Birdman, putting his hands up in dismay, assuming that the Western wrestler is just sitting there, not trying to advance. Only Birdman can do his own commentary in the middle of a wrestling match.
I was expecting him to start flapping his arms, but apparently that's not going to happen.
But he's coasting to a victory here. What is the score, Amir? The
score is 7-0.
7-0 in the 30 seconds left in the second period. Having a crab ride here, tilting the Weston 160 back.
Birdman getting his 3 points. Weston struggling not to be pinned at this point, but has really shown nothing in this match. Weston just working hard not to go back in his mat at this point. 1 second left in the match. Has 3 points. It should be 13. Should be 13. It was 13-0.
So he only needs 2 more points for a tech fall. Birdman. Hey, that's Greg Bergman here from BestWrestling.com. We distracted him with our bird call.
That's not a bird, Jason.
You're distracting my superior camera work.
He's going for his 2 points to tech the kid.
Yeah, he teched him at this point. If they're going to try to, they don't stop the tech unless they think the Weston kid, Wayland, Bergman can't get the pin here. If they assume once the points have stopped being scored or there's no more chance of Greg pinning the kid, they'll stop it. But it's, what is it now, 15-0?
It is 15-0 right now. Birdman going for the points, maybe winning this match 18-0 or getting a pinfall.
I've never seen a match won 18-0. Usually they stop it after 15.
He still got his 3 points.
But Greg Bergman, capable of many things most men are not, such as flying. I've seen him fly before.
And getting rejected by multiple girls.
That has not been confirmed, but Amir Moghadam is the director of sports psychology. If anyone would know that, he would.
That is true.
And they stopped the match here, 18-0. Greg Bergman wins by technical fall. All right, we're in the 189-pound wrestling match here of Weston versus Wayland. Wayland up 42-11. 43-11. You know what you missed here while we were changing DVDs was Joe Manley pinning ridiculously fast. I mean, Joe, how fast was that pin? That was a ridiculously fast pin. We missed it, Joe. It was too fast. Next time, try the slow pin. Nevertheless,
we're sorry we were not able to get you that match.
It wasn't much of anything. You know what? I mean, as much of a glory shot it would be to show Joe Manley pinning a kid in 10 seconds. You've seen it once, you'll see it again. Trust me. It's a 189-pound match. Wayland up 42-11 at this point. Weston now wrestling for whatever pride is left.
It's not going to be a very Merry Christmas for Weston.
Let's put it this way, they're going to need a lot of material goods this year to make up for this walloping.
If I was the coach, I'd have practice on Christmas Day for this.
I would. That's what Coach Police made us do one year.
He did? I must have skipped it. This year, of course, Hanukkah falling on Christmas Day as well, which is a double whammy for Weston.
This kid, Brigio, normally wrestling 171 for Wayland, is wrestling 189, and he's down 2-1, right, Amir?
Yes. 2-1 Weston right now. 23 seconds left in the first period. 21 seconds left in the first period. Weston is actually up 2-1. I feel like it's been a while since I said that. Nevertheless,
it has been a while. This has been a very one-sided.
Reaching back, which is never advice, with both arms. I don't know exactly what he was going for there.
This has been a rebuilding year for Weston, and you can see that as evidenced by this one-sided wrestling match. Wayland up 42-11. 43-11. My bad. But you know what?
No, don't worry.
Each match is pretty much, except for the 171 match where Joe Manley pinned the kid in the butt, before I could blink my eye. And most matches have been pretty close.
Absolutely. And this is going into the second period here. These kids don't even know how to do the call for referees position.
And we are live. Brigio, 189, down 2-0 at the beginning of the second period.
43-11 Wayland. This has been all Wayland today for the most part. This is the first match of many that
Weston won last year, But, this is having the makings of a 1986 Chicago Bears versus Patriots Super Bowl.
Oh, God, don't bring that up in Massachusetts.
It's getting ugly real fast.
Some Patriot fan out there screaming, "We will win the Super Bowl one day." And somebody said, "Yeah, right."
Actually, the Patriots were up 3-0 in that point, and well, it wasn't. A few refrigerator Perry touchdowns later, it was all Chicago, just like it's been all Wayland in today's wrestling match. Hey, we recognize Weston's wrestling prowess. They've been one of the best teams in the state ever since Coach Baldanza has been coaching for them. But you know,
How long has that been?
that's been many years. I think about 25 years at least.
25
He's a former Marine. He's now the PE teacher for Weston. But Wayland, this is Wayland's year. And like I said, Weston has been decimated by injuries and transfers and other mysterious disappearances.
It's almost as if they've been abducted by aliens. It's kind of unusual. Nevertheless, the score is still 2-1 going into the 45-second point in the second period. Weston is showing aggression. Watching this match, it's pretty hard to believe that this has only been 1 point. It seems as though Weston's been pretty dominant. In this 189 weight class, is that correct, Jason?
Yeah, this is 189 pounds. A very inexperienced.
Weston trying to get their head out so they get the 2 points. He gets his 2 points and is now 4-2 actually. Weston going into 10 seconds left in the second period. Weston needs to struggle, and Wayland needs to really build up a base and get up in the next 2 seconds to get his point. He's reaching back again. He doesn't do it. The score is 4-2. Weston with 1 period left.
This match once again is being co-commentated by Amir Moghadam, who's actually being married on what's the date? June what, Amir?
17th.
June 17th. What a dashingly good man, Amir Moghadam. Sorry, Amir.
For the benefit of people at MassWrestling.com, we will hopefully be able to edit that out.
No, we won't.
In any event, it is 5-2 Weston with 1:48 left in this match. Team score is 43 Wayland, 11 Weston.
Yeah, we could just sum it up for a lot too little today. But you know what? And from 89 to heavyweight is kind of a weak point for Wayland. So and a strong point for Weston. They got Frank Rubash at 215, which is really good coming up, and then Lynch.
You know, again he reaches back, and every time I see that, honestly, it's like I'm always just like, what the heck?
He's trying to cradle.
What are the advantages of reaching back, Jason?
Well, you know what? When you're in a cradle, anyways, it's not like he's gonna switch from a cradle to a half Nelson. Sometimes you're right; it's a bad idea. Reaching back will do you in, but.
You know, it would seem to me that any wrestler worth a singlet would like be able to take advantage of someone reaching back.
Yeah, you know what the thing is about wrestling? Sometimes you're so amped up, not winded. You're so amped up, so in the now. Like you're not always thinking the best strategy. You know, anybody can wrestle from the sidelines and think of the best moves.
I know this because I'm really good at that. Actually, nevertheless, it is 8-4 Weston with 46 seconds left in the match. Weston seems to have pretty good control of the situation. It would take quite a bit of fortitude on the part of Wayland to really turn this around and get a pin at this point. I'm not going to say a miracle, but because we all know Jason Ganz said that yesterday, and North ended up slocking South from there on in.
Yeah, I tell you what, I had a little bit of vomit in my mouth after watching that match. You know, listen, we don't need to keep harping on this, but Newton South, the better team, left their heart in the Bloomingdale's Mall. I mean, it was tough. The Bloomingdale's Mall, it was tough. New North, coached by Garrett Grady and Stalo, a very disciplined and gutsy team. Anyways, 14 seconds left in the match. What's the score, Amir?
The score is 10-4 Weston with 11 seconds left in the match. Weston seems to have pretty good control at this point. Wayland probably just trying to do whatever he can not to allow a major, which looks like he's going to be successful at least.
So it's going to be 42 to 14 after the end of this match.
Actually, it's going to be 46. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. I apologize. 43 to 14 at the end of this match. Going into 2:15.
It's Pena here against Frank Rubash for Weston. Pena from Wayland placing at the Wayland tournament versus the senior Frank Rubash of Weston. Yeah, we'll see.
Wow! Look at man. He sinks into half. He's got him on his back. Looks like he's gonna at the very least get back points right now. Maybe too early to go for the pin. He's not.
You know what? It's never too early to go for the pin if the opportunity is there.
Absolutely, but he may not be successful getting it. Although I may be wrong in this case.
He's got the Saturday Night Ride on you pretty much. And Pena from Wayland is done. You know, everybody get out your forks. They've been wrestling.
Stop.
They've been wrestling tough. But
his parents could be watching this. Don't say that. Hopefully not. But
you know what? It's all she wrote. We at MassWrestling.com, we're a very tactful and tasteful broadcast team. And while we're not Howard Stern, we have the legal right, to make cool, witty comments.
so, we can always post apologies later on MassWrestling.com. I'll probably be posting an apology about my comments to Birdman. I'm sure he has multiple girlfriends he's got to juggle on the side. I really don't know him. I was just making jerk comments, and
It's okay, Amir. You don't need to apologize for providing entertainment, quality entertainment for the fans of Mass Wrestling.
Birdman really stepped up today. Had a quality wrestling match, like most of his teammates actually today, with the exception of this 215. He's just been struggling not to get pinned apparently, which is never the sign of a good wrestler when you wrestle not to get pinned, which apparently this kid has failed at. In any event, it is 5-0 with 26 seconds left in the first period. Soon to be 8-0 if he doesn't get the pin.
And he does. Frank Rubash pins Christian Pena.
Wayland was just on his back for the past minute and 43 seconds.
And Weston gets the forfeit at heavyweight here.
Making the score 43-26. That is the match. This has been brought to you by Amir Moghadam, Director of Sports Psychology, and Jason Ganz, Vice President of MassWrestling.com. You can get this off of MassWrestling.com.
Yeah, and we thank Wayland High School for hosting. What a nice dual meet here. Wayland continues to be the favorite to win D3, the state dual meet title. So, and our Master Wrestling Outstanding Wrestler of the day, even though as silly as it sounded, we didn't get it on film, but Joe Manley, 171, pinned his opponent so quickly. He's evidently a heavy favorite to win New England's, and you didn't get to see why, but almost because he pinned so fast today.
It was a 20-second match. We weren't able to load the DVD fast enough in order to catch a match. The kid is greased lightning.
All right, that's Master Wrestling signing off.